Goodbye, Plaid Porsche. One of the most iconic GT cars on the grid announces some big changes for 2024. Aston Martin revives the Valkyrie project and confirms their intent to race the car in Imsa. And a former series champion has a surprising announcement as to what team he's going to be racing for in Imsa next year. Yes, it's alive. Aston Martin is reviving their Valkyrie LMH program in partnership with the Heart of Racing. The announcement confirmed a dual series campaign in the FIA World Endurance Championship and the Imsa WeatherTech Sports Car Championship starting in 2025. Heart of Racing has confirmed that they will run at least one entry in both the WEC's Hypercar class as well as IMSA's GTP class. Aston Martin Performance Technologies will develop the Valkyrie for competition within the LMH regulations, and they will continue to use the Cosworth-built 6.5-liter naturally aspirated V12 engine, which will be modified, of course, to meet the Hypercar class balance of performance requirements. Of course, meeting these Hypercar requirements will also enable them to be able to race in IMSA, after going through the appropriate testing process with IMSA, of course. Notably, the car does not feature a hybrid system, and it could be the first car to race in IMSA's GTP class without a hybrid system. Now, the team that's going to be operating this entry, the Heart of Racing, they of course currently operate a GTD Pro and a GTD entry in the WeatherTech Championship, and it's not known if this announcement will affect either of those programs in 2025. Now, as soon as the Aston Martin Valkyrie joins the IMSA grid in 2025, it's sure to be a fan favorite and one of the most iconic entries on the grid. But one of the current most iconic entries on the grid is going to be seeing some big changes for 2024. Pfaff Motorsports has announced that they are switching from Porsche to Michelin for its IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship GTD Pro effort in 2024. This switch will bring the McLaren 720S GT3 Evo into the top production-based class of IMSA for the very first time. Now, Pfaff has had a pretty extensive relationship with McLaren, both on the racetrack and off of it, through their retail locations across Canada. On the track, though, the team has previously run the GT4 spec McLaren in both the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge as well as the FEL Sports Car Championship, which is the GT4 and TCR Championship in Canada, and actually came out on top in that FEL Championship. Also notable here is the car is slated to have a lot less plaid on it than it currently has, but the team has said on multiple occasions that they hope to sneak some plaid into the new livery somewhere as kind of an Easter egg to their past. The driver lineup for this single car effort has not yet been finalized. Now, you might be wondering what Porsche is going to be doing with the GTD Pro class next year, as Pfaff was their only representative in the championship in 2023, but for next year they are going to actually double their participation in the class, with a Kelly Moss Racing entry jumping up from the GTD to the GTD Pro class, along with Rexy and AO Racing, who are moving up. It can be difficult to stay on top of all the news from around the world of IMSA. That's why I have another way for you to stay in the loop. The S's is a weekly newsletter curated by me that features all of the biggest IMSA news stories from the past week. I bring together the best articles from the week, maybe a video that I think you should check out, and put it all together with some analysis in a quick 5-minute read. In addition to the news, I'll also give you my thoughts on what's going on and what we might be able to expect in upcoming races. You can subscribe to the S's by clicking the link in the show notes or going to offinthes.com. Wayne Taylor Racing with Andretti Autosport is confirming their GTD class effort in the 2024 WeatherTech Championship. This entry, which was confirmed to be on the grid when IMSA recently announced the full season entries, will be the team's first full-time effort into the GT ranks. The entry under Wayne Taylor Racing with Andretti will sport the number 45, but the car model or any drivers have yet to be confirmed. Hey, Future Stu here. Wayne Taylor Racing actually announced, as I was editing this episode, that they will be running a Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo 2 in the GTD class next year with drivers Kyle Marcelli and Danny Formel. When asked about the importance of joining the GTD ranks for the team, they said that it was very important for them to establish a presence in GTD to act as a bridge between their Lamborghini Super Trofeo efforts and their GTP class efforts, which they're planning to expand to a 2-car Acura ARX-06 operation this year. Some pretty big LMP2 news here, as Inter Europol and PR1 Matheson Motorsports have announced that they will be joining forces for an LMP2 entry in Imsa next year. The team will be known as Inter Europol by PR1 Matheson Motorsports, and the team confirmed that Jakub Smikowski will be the silver-rated driver for the Michelin Endurance Cup rounds. He was also part of Inter Europol's Le Mans winning effort this past year. As for the full season driver pairings though, those have yet to be confirmed. Now this collaboration between Inter Europol and PR1 Matheson Motorsports comes after the LMP2 class is set to be removed from the WEC next year. This prompted Inter Europol's interest in joining the WeatherTech Championship. PR1 Matheson Motorsports is a pretty successful team to be pairing up with though, as they won 3 consecutive LMP2 championships from 2019 to 2021, and they also won the most recent LMP2 championship, of course, with Ben Keating. Let's jump back up a class to GTP for a moment, as JDC Miller Motorsports may expand to a 2-car Porsche 963 operation for the 2025 season. The team debuted their Porsche 963 in the GTP class earlier in the 2023 season at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. They are expected to receive a second Porsche 963 in advance of this year's Rolex 24. It's not expected to be a car that will be run, but is expected to be used for parts. However, JDC did say that it could potentially be used as a second entry for the 2025 season. JDC also confirmed part of their full season driver lineup for 2024, as Tiemann Vanderhelm was confirmed in one of the full season driver slots, and Phil Hansen will join them for the Imsa Michelin Endurance Cup races. Now this will mark Hansen's debut in the full season of the Michelin Endurance Cup, however he's run in most of these races before in LMP2 machinery. Hansen is very highly regarded from his time in LMP2, where he became the first driver to win the FIA World Endurance Championship, the European Le Mans Series title, and the 24 Hours of Le Mans in the same year. And I think that this could very well be a stepping stone for him to progress to be a full season driver for the 2025 season. We've seen it happen in the very recent past with Luis Delatraz and Wayne Taylor Racing, and I think that we could see the same thing happen for Hansen if he performs well that next season. This announcement though still leaves a full season driver opening at the team, but we might not have to wait too much longer to find out who's going to be driving there. You see, it's been reported that Jenson Button has offers to both race in Imsa as well as in the WEC. It really doesn't take much to put 2 and 2 together to see that Button likely has an offer on the table from JDC to race this car in a full season capacity. After all, he did just race for the team at Petit Le Mans, and I think if he chooses to race in Imsa, it's a very strong possibility that this could be the ride that he goes to. However, none of it's confirmed though. We'll have to wait and see what Jenson decides, but I do think that customer Porsche 963 would be a great landing spot for Jenson, and would be yet another strong driver lineup for JDC. From a former F1 champion to a former DPI champion, Tom Blomqvist was named to be Action Express Racing's third driver for the Michelin Endurance Cup Series races. Yes, Blomqvist, the multiple-time winner of the Rolex 24, the 2022 IMSA DPI champion, he's going to join full-season drivers Pipo Derani and Jack Aitken in the number 31 Cadillac. This comes as Blomqvist is heading to a full-time IndyCar ride next year as well. Now, he's going to be racing with Meyershank Racing in IndyCar, but that team in the number 60 won't be participating in IMSA next season. And to be honest, I'm a little bit surprised that Blomqvist is going to be going to a Cadillac team. I kind of thought that if he was going to stick around and do the Endurance Cup races next year, he might be doing that with Wayne Taylor Racing in the Acura that he already knows so well. But regardless, I mean, this is of course an amazing landing spot for him, and I'm sure the number 31 is thrilled to have a driver of his caliber in that car for all of the Michelin Endurance Cup Series races. Talked a lot about Michelin here, but one more thing to talk about Michelin is they're set to introduce a new tire to the GT ranks. The new Pilot Sport GT-H1 compound will be used in the GTD Pro and GTD classes of the WeatherTech Championship next year. The tire is expected to both improve sustainability and performance, and the construction is actually pretty similar to the GTE spec tire, the Michelin Confidential tires that were previously used in Imsa's GTLM class. Unlike the GTP class, where we have a couple of different tires depending on the temperatures that are being run, there is only set to be one dry compound of tire, which can be used in any temperatures from the hot mid-season to all the way to the cold nighttime running at Daytona and Petit Le Mans. But the key thing about this news is just how strategy is going to be impacted. Double stinting is going to be much more common. We saw this play out in the GTP class over the course of this season, how double stinting at various times of the race significantly impacted the outcome of the race, and I think we're going to see some more strategy calls come into play in the GTD classes next year. And it was also announced that Michelin will be sticking on as Imsa's tire provider through the 2028 season. Now the 2028 season is a long ways away, but the 2024 season is right around the corner. Check out this playlist for everything that you need to know heading into the 2024 Imsa season. Huge shout out to all the Patreon supporters. If you too want to support the show, then you can head to patreon.com/offintheesses. Once again though, thanks for tuning in. I hope everyone has a great race weekend and doesn't go off in the S's.